First of all, before talking about your business and what you're doing, tell us something about this eighth Global Family Office Investment Summit. How is it helping you to network, to make new acquaintances that could be helpful for your business?
Yes, so for us, it's a great audience of people that you normally don't see. And what we were actually doing is focusing on, when you talk about family offices and investment portfolios, you really end up dealing with a diversified portfolio of financial assets, physical assets, and increasingly virtual assets tied to what you see in blockchain and cryptocurrency.
And your business is devoted to blockchain, has managed to channel the power of blockchain to do something great. Could you tell us a little bit more? Could you elaborate on the way you're doing your business?
Sure. So we're not actually a blockchain-based or crypto-based business. We're actually an enterprise software company. So we have an enterprise cloud platform for mobile. We help the world's largest brands with their audiences on iOS and Android devices to be able to have the most amazing mobile experience so that all of us can consume whatever we want, whenever we want, however we want. But what we did along the way is we met so many people through licensing our software that we now reach over 1 billion people every month. That billion people allows us to have amazing insights. It gets you the scale and scope of a Facebook or a Google, except you allow people to have amazing experiences. And what we found, we entered blockchain specifically to help our customers be able to disintermediate these untrustworthy folks in the middle. Sadly, Facebook and Google, we've all become the product. We've lost control of our identity. It's our personal data and information, but sadly, they monetize it and we get none of it. So what Phunware did is we added blockchain and cryptocurrency as a mean to connect our customers who already trusted us from their work in mobile directly to these consumers and audiences who are voluntarily providing their personal data and information in exchange for compensation.
And your company, correct me if I'm mistaken, has managed to do something remarkable because you have issued a token which is SEC approved. How did you pull that off?
Yeah, so actually when we started, we went through 7 months and 2 days with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, and it's as painful as it might sound. Everyone, when we said we were going to be one of the first companies to ever attempt to get a licensed security token offering fully compliant and fully regulated by the SEC, they said it wasn't possible. They said that the SEC was very anti-blockchain, anti-crypto, and what it turns out is they're not at all. They're actually just very anti-companies around the world and groups trying to be creative with the interpretation of securities laws. So we were the first company in human history to get a security token approved as part of a registration statement to go public on NASDAQ. We're very proud of that. It's been weird being a guinea pig, as no one really knew if it would happen. But now that we've done that, even our finance team is working with the Chief Accounting Office of the SEC to set GAAP accounting standards for all public companies on Wall Street. Because so far, FASB and the SEC have never actually created GAAP accounting standards. So you can imagine forecasting financials, but you don't know how to handle blockchain or crypto. And we're very proud to be a part of that right now.
So following up on your answer, which suggestion could you give to someone to any entrepreneurs who would like to issue or tokenize their business in a lawful way?
Right, so what we think is that every company around the world that are going to be real people with real companies doing real things in blockchain and cryptocurrency, we think it's going to require investment in legal and accounting. And if you haven't spent more than $1 million US on legal and accounting to be compliant, my advice to folks around the world who are entrepreneurs is be very careful. We believe the days of initial coin offerings are over. We think security token offerings are going to be the future. We believe that investors do not want a wild, wild west where anything goes with unaudited financials and projects of decentralized groups around the world where nobody's truly in charge of anything. We think what institutional investors are going to want, and even retail investors, are to know it's a real company, that you're submitting everything and you're being regulatory compliant. And what we hope this year is to bring the institutional acceptance of smart contracts, cryptocurrency, and blockchain to Wall Street. Much like last year, you saw the institutional acceptance of even things we never would have expected, like cannabis, with Tilray and Canopy Growth. This year, we want to provide a safe on-ramp for the corporate America and big companies around the world into this new exciting area of technology.
And lastly, if you had to pinpoint one useful piece of information that any attendees could pick up from this round of conferences, what would that be?
The biggest thing is I think now's actually the great time to invest. We were just talking a bit about the market's performance, over the last several years, what happened in the fourth quarter. We don't believe that scared money makes any money. The biggest thing that we think when we go to these kind of conferences is when things are perceived to be risky, when things are perceived that we're imminently going to a recession because we've had 9 consecutive years without one, we would say that's a great time to really take a look at your portfolio, realize what you have in both financial and physical assets, start adding virtual assets to a portfolio because virtual assets are probably the only uncorrelated asset. And we think now blockchain is going to ultimately be more important globally than what the internet was. And we all went through that. The internet had its boom and bust. Everyone thought it was going to go away. And what happened? You had Amazon and Google and all these other companies come out. And we couldn't even imagine life right now without the internet 24/7. Blockchain will be the same, and we're looking forward to that day.
Well, thank you, sir, for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.